into touch. Memphis, on the balance, if you look at the numbers on fouls and cards conceded and also absorbed, on the balance of it, Memphis 901 FC, I think maybe rightfully so, plays with a chip on its shoulder, feeling like oftentimes they, whether rightly or wrongly, feel like they're singled out for some of these fouls, maybe cards when they shouldn't be, and vice versa. But the numbers statistically bear out that they at least play with feeling like it's them against the world. And really, honestly, Jeff, that's not a bad place to be when you're fighting for a playoff home spot.
Well, they play an aggressive style of soccer. Don't want to take the foot off the gas. Meanwhile, here comes Ward to the left side. Ward trying to cut in. Kept his balance after a little bit of contact. That ball will eventually be sent across the pitch. They weren't able to clear it, so an opportunity here for Memphis. Will the mistake cost FC Tulsa? No. Racing out will be Penaranda. He's given up just 6 goals, 40 shots faced, 34 saves on the year, and he saves balls at an 85% clip.
He's very dependable. He was excellent off the line there. Good anticipation to pounce out just outside the 6 to collect that as Memphis shows its first sign of intent. Looking at the pitch tonight, I know it's warm, but I got to tell you, going down pitch side before the match, and both of these clubs share something in common, that they both play in what are typically baseball stadiums the rest of the season. And I got to tell you, the pitch really looks where it overlays into the baseball diamond portion. Actually, looks pretty seamless tonight. The grounds crew always works hard. Looks good tonight. I think this pitch is going to play well for both clubs.
Meanwhile, here comes Tulsa down the left wing. See what they want to put together. They've got Harvey St. Clair hanging back over here on the right side out of London, England. He was on the team of the week in week number 23. Not a big goal scorer. Doesn't have any goals. He's provided 1 assist, though.
Well, when you get those clean sheets, oftentimes, not only does the goalie get the love, but oftentimes you're going to see at least 1 or 2 of those guys on the back 4 get some of that credit as well. And I think Penaranda will tell you as well that that's deservedly so.
So they'll swing it over to St. Clair. St. Clair back along the back line. 5th minute early on here. The first opportunity really came for Tulsa. Ended up being a really nice save by Tristan Henry in the first 2 minutes of this match. Memphis one really offensive possession, the attacking third. Came away empty-handed, a pretty easy pickup on a dribbler to Penaranda. So here's where Memphis is good up front. Not only their scoring prowess, but applying pressure on back lines. As Duncan nearly had the interception. Racing in that time is Noe Meza. Now here's a counter opportunity, and if it would not have been for Memphis that time, would have been a big run. Looked like Lucas Turchi was able to get there and break it up just in time.
It's good hustle by Boubacar Diallo. He's the one that made that possible, sticking the toe poke in midfield, clearing that up for Tulsa to give them an opportunity. And Tristan Henry is able to corral that before it goes out for a corner kick.
Just saw that prior match pop up on July 20th that Tulsa took 1-0. Former Memphis 901 FC player Philip Goodrum, who's no longer with FC Tulsa, he scored the deciding goal, the only goal in that match.
Well, if you're a Memphis 901 FC fan, then you're happy to see him out of the Tulsa lineup tonight for sure. There's no question about that. Tulsa now trying to just establish some possession here. And now, will we have a flag go up? We did.
Oh, well, an immediate call there right in the center as Akeem Ward threw the hand up quickly. And a little frustration. Mario Sanchez, the head coach for FC Tulsa, has really an interesting background. Came over from Racing Louisville FC in the NWSL. He's a technical director and assistant there, interim head coach back in 21, but also played his college ball at Fresno State University for the Bulldogs and several years professionally.
And he has instructed them here on this road match. It looks like the locker room talk was come out aggressive tonight, as they have some ground to gain, but there are opportunities that present themselves. And you're also, one of the questions for tonight will also be, how will 901 FC respond with its legs after the midweek match? I spoke to head coach Stephen Glass earlier today, Jeff, and he said essentially it was a late flight in. They had a connection. Thursday was just get some rest in your own bed. Very light training on Friday. They wanted to be fresh.
Memphis over the top, and a left footer that time from Meza is deflected about 12 yards high. Memphis Battling to keep possession, they will. Over to Ward. Ward's got a little room to maneuver. One-on-one, makes a nifty move to his right, goes to the back post, and it deflects off the post.
Oh, goodness me. And it looks like maybe it took a touch off of an FC Tulsa player on the way out. We may have our first corner kick of the night, but that was a great shot, opening up, driving with the inside of his right foot. Check this out, Jeff. It looks like maybe it came off of a Tulsa defender, maybe Edwin Lazo.
Well, that's the second time he's gone one-on-one with Harvey St. Clair and has been able to beat him, so that'll be a matchup to watch a little bit later as we progress.
And Akeem is a key in a couple of ways. One, he's a terrific player, but secondly, he can unlock defenses down the left wing. Does a great job with that.
Meza up the corner. It swings out about 10 yards high. Now Tulsa trying to get something going. They do not look for the early clearance. They want possession as St. Clair moves it up, and a near steal that time. Coming in was Carriega. Long ball over the top just to get some spacing as Tulsa wants to get reorganized.
Little breathing space. There's a look at head coach Stephen Glass. And, of course, when he came into Memphis 901 FC, Memphis, a playoff contender, starting to get that pedigree. And he has done nothing but continue that and build on that in his way with his players. He's done a terrific job. And Memphis on course once again to be a playoff contender.
Well, they volley a couple headers between Booth and Batch. Nothing comes of it for FC Tulsa. Meanwhile, there's going to be a early whistle, early foul in this match. Well, took about 8 minutes. Nico Brett out for Memphis. Rogers, Bernal, Ponce all out for FC Tulsa. And that's really, as far as attrition this late in the season, neither team in terrible shape right now.
No, some depth. Both teams have a full bench. Tulsa does on the road as well. Memphis 901 FC has some talent to spare as well. Of course, recent acquisitions. They've got Baquero and Armanakis on the bench. So I think come 60th minute plus, both of these sides will be ready to compete for the full 90.
That was Batch who delivered into the center, and Memphis comes away with the temporary steal. Now they'll have it. They'll roll it up. Looks like a foul is called behind the play as you have one player down in the center circle in the 9th minute. And no worse for the rare Bruno Lapa.
It's the right attitude. Dust yourself off and get on with it, young man.
Too early in the 10th minute to get the uniform too dirty. Get the clippings out of it. So again, early in the 10th minute, both teams have had one good opportunity as Ward sent one off the back post, and then there was a shot with a great save by Tristan Henry. So each team's had one quality opportunity thus far. Now here comes Ward again. Ward's done well on the wing. Nice service into the 18. Spin on the 360. Ward provides a bit of a screen. Secondary touchdown near the line. Fernando outside the 18 with the left foot. Header is going to be wide and to the left. Penaranda. Well, that's good offensive set in the attacking third as Knight Pickering starting to come back on here over the last month. Yeah, picked himself up a goal midweek against the Miami FC, and he's earned himself a start for tonight from head coach Stephen Glass. Memphis a couple of half chances there down low, but credit for FC Tulsa. They are just tough. They did not give any of these 901 attackers breathing room to make that turn onto their strong foot, and Penaranda will send this down Route 1, pushing this into the Memphis half of the field. Well, it's good to see, going back to Knight Pickering, him starting to pick things up. He was the youngest signee in club history, a couple of appearances 2 years ago, scored 4 goals. Here's a glancing header just back to Tristan Henry. But a year ago, Pickering, 33 appearances, had 4 goals. Took him a while to kind of get going this year, but now 3 goals on the season. You can tell he's playing with a lot of confidence. Still a young guy out there.
Yeah, continuing to grow in the game. I mean, he is really more. He's a medium to long term. I hate to say the word project, but he's a guy that he is in progress, but he's already paying dividends for himself and for Memphis 901 FC. He is definitely one to continue to watch, and he is fun to watch, and has played in the U.S. men's national team set up at the younger level. So he's definitely getting some notice, and deservedly so.
Sissoko now along the right side. As NFC pushes up, they're going to go deep looking for Pickering. You also had Fernando on the backside. Another poor error that time. And here is the shot off center, and it's going to be high by Bruno Lapa. Tell you what, Tim, that's the second time here in just 11 and a half minutes we've seen FC Tulsa with a poor clearance, and sooner or later a mistake like that's going to cost you.
Yes, Memphis 901 FC, another chance here. They made the most of it almost with the turnover. Knight Pickering got a toe in, gave Lapa a chance. I think the ball just bobbled a little bit, and Bruno got underneath it, and it flipped over the goal. So Pinoranda, again, not much to worry about on that one. But I would be concerned, as you mentioned, the opportunities that are now being created from the turnovers in their own third of the pitch. FC Tulsa has been very tight at the back recently, and this is unforced errors. Memphis plays well at home. This is not something that they want to continue to do, and they'll look to tighten up here as we get into the 13th minute.
Well, in the two instances we've seen thus far, when they've turned it over in their defensive third, they've tried to clear up the middle instead of going to the outside. They've not had the space to send it long up the middle.
Yeah, and really the easiest way is to get it out to the wing, because either you're going to clear it or you're going to get some sort of deflection. But, yeah, trying to get it through the middle is – that's the hard way, unless you're playing that tiki-taka or playing the small triangles up the pitch where you're not having those long passes, because the long passes in the back, those are the risky ones if you keep those on the deck.
So Memphis FC kind of dictating the pace now in this match with 59% possession early on. Here's one. Oh, that gets away, and it could be costly, and it is. Set out in the 18, and it's Stojanovic, and they may be taking this one off the board.
It is a striker's biggest fear is when the flag goes up and it goes parallel to the ground, offside. So what would have been the 5th goal of the season for Stefan Stojanovic gets waved off, and Sanchez is incredulous. Let's take a look here, Jeff.
I think he's going to get 10, maybe. Memphis touched it. Let's take another look first. It was a glancing header for Stojanovic. Got the high ball off the right foot.
Well, Sanchez is not going to be placated on that one.
Meanwhile, Memphis on the offensive, they go over the top. They're looking for Meza. They leave it out there. This one's going to be wide for Nando. Boy, he had an open goal there because it looked like they had Pinoranda moving to his right.
Let me tell you, if Alex Swahi does not come flying in on the ground right there, really Luis Fernando, he's got that far post picked out, but Swahi, to his credit, came zooming in and made sure that there was going to at least be some footsteps or some pressure. And Fernando with a chance that goes begging here in the 15th minute. But Memphis continuing to get opportunities. Not all shots on target, but they are starting to continue to launch a few more toward this player of the month in Pinoranda.
Pinoranda's seen a couple come wide, one hit the post. Meanwhile, Henry, a great save earlier, then a very close offside call took the first goal of this match off the board for FC Tulsa. Meanwhile, here comes Memphis again. Left side, it's going to be Fernando. Fernando accelerates, steps on the brakes, rolls it through the center, untouched, sent back outside into the neutral third. Really nice job, I think, defensively there. I believe that was Harvey St. Clair that time. Takes the initiative, steps in front of the pass, never lets anything develop down there.
Akeem Ward lost a shin guard on that play. You can tell they're going in full bore.
So both teams, we see the ball bounce a little funny here tonight. Both teams have had some, I don't want to say miscues, but the offenses have taken advantage a little bit, maybe because of the heat and some early fatigue on some defensive miscues. Meanwhile, here's Pickering in a foot race, Pinoranda able to get there first.
That was a calm, cool, and collected move by Pinoranda, because Pickering was coming blazing in, hoping, or maybe almost daring the keeper to try to launch that, because he had that closed down, but just a nice subtle touch. And a calm, experienced goalkeeper can make all the difference when put under pressure.
They'll roll it through to Lapa again. They're going to put a lot of pressure here as Lazo coming right in. He didn't want Lapa to get settled in. Sissoko now reverses out along the right side. Sissoko takes it again.
By the way, no relation or same spelling as Ted.
Right.
But he still believes.
Yes. So Ward deflects it off to Carriega, now back to Sissoko. So Memphis now trying to build for the back line a little bit. Not in as much of a hurry as we saw them really press on in the first 15 minutes, kind of settling into this match.
Yeah, Memphis taking their time swinging around the back right now, but they will start to make some probing moves into the middle of the pitch just to see if they can draw Tulsa out of position for a quick strike. We've seen them try a couple of times from the wing with Akeem Ward and Quezada on the far side.
Long and over the top down the left side. Memphis may have something working. Fernando went toward the box. Now he's going to have to come out and help Meza out a little bit, and we'll have a whistle.
Yeah, I think he's going to be called for too much do-si-do on that one. I think they locked arms, and it was inevitable they were both going down. The question was who was going to get the foul.
18th minute early on here at AutoZone Park. No score between Memphis Dynamo and FC and FC Tulsa's. Memphis continues to garner the bulk of possession at a little over 55% thus far. They've done a nice job winning a little over 56% of the one-on-one duels.
Looks like he's going to send this one down. Memphis backing up a little bit, but they're still playing a pretty high line here. They're not going to let Tulsa just sit down and congregate near the top of the 18.
Well, they've got him scouted well because everyone on the near side of the pitch for this free kick. So Penaranda not going to try to send it to his left. He goes in as they were set up, he went right down the right side.
It's a big 9-iron there.
Yeah.
Select, by the way, their soccer balls are the golf balls of soccer.
Absolutely.
Those things are dimpled. Even I can kick a ball straight with a select ball. Those things are incredible.
They'll work it back, and that'll be Andrew Booth out of Jamaica who sends it long to the far side of the field. It will be kept in bounds by FC Tulsa.
It looks like Patrick Segrist getting his name called out tonight. Memphis fans know him well.
Penaranda again. Well, from what we've seen out of Penaranda thus far, he'll like to stay in the box. Look, we still have a good 70-plus minutes to watch him, but more of a post-to-post inside the 6 yards. Not a guy, at least early on, that looks like he's going to be racing out toward the top of the 18 to cut down angles.
And I'll be very interested to see if that's just how he is, or if that's a product of how tight their defense is. It could, or it could be just a combination of both. That he trusts his back four so much to do a lot of the cleanup work.
Poked over the top. Looks like offsides again. Well, I've seen Tulsa taking some chances. That's going to believe their third offsides of the game. But a team that's 17th in the league in goals of just 24. Memphis and FC Tulsa both given up 30 goals, so they both sit, top third of the pack in 12, but on the road, give them credit. They're taking some offsides, but they're taking those chances.
They are. And in three of these instances, they've been trying to exploit the right side of Memphis's defense. We saw a shot early that Tristan Henry parried away. We saw the goal that was not because of offside. And then we saw that, which was actually a pretty lovely one-timer from Patrick Segrist trying to get over the top in an offside position. But they all come down what would be Tulsa's attacking left side. We'll see if they'll continue to work that way. They seem to like this side of the pitch better here in the opening 20 minutes.
Henry sends it deep down the right side, and Memphis will just garner possession in the middle. They'll work it over to Ward. The pressure Ward a little bit more. His pass a little behind, but Fernando picks it up after the contact, that time made by St. Clair. And there is Duncan. He'll control things in the middle. Sissoko pushes up just a little bit. Well, they've got Pickering in the middle, Lapa coming up from behind. We'll see how they want to play this. They see Lapa on the backside, but pass never able to make its intended target. They had it eyed, though. They had Bruno Lapa waiting there. Which, if that pass would have been maybe 6 inches higher, he's got a beautiful chance maybe for a one-time header.
Definitely a game plan. Memphis earlier on coming down the near side to launch the cross. This time Quezada getting his chance at that. So both of these clubs seeing something on the wing that they're trying to exploit here instead of going through the middle. And a couple of opportunities for both, whether offside or not, putting pressure on these defenses.
Well, as those passes intercepted, now Memphis controls again, and they'll slow it down. They've got Ward open, and he keeps it in off the chest. A little bit long for Luis Fernando. Of course, Fernando now will race in. Looks for the steal, will not come away with it. St. Clair to the right side. Ward gets on top of him. He'll have to give it up. Batch now looks ahead, and there's a steal from behind. Pickering caught a piece of it. Now Knight Pickering over to Fernando as Pickering takes off toward the box. Lapa gets it settled down. Ball just a little too far. Looked like he wanted to set up for a left footer.
Thought he was going to try to launch a half volley, and yeah, I think his last touch let him down just a little too far away, but he was getting that one teed up, no question about it.
22nd minute, still no score. FC Tulsa and Memphis 9-0 FC from downtown Memphis. Now they'll pass up Lazo, and they'll go back to the back right side. And now we'll see Tulsa for the first time, at least momentarily, with Batch of the ball. A little possession now. They'll go back long and over the top. Not a lot of room to maneuver, and Memphis able to get in there racing in. That time was Quezada to knock it out. It looks like they were trying to get it to Diallo, Boubacar Diallo out of Senegal. Meanwhile, here's an opportunity. Everyone on side, and Tulsa. Here's where they score as well. It's going to be right into the breadbasket for Henry. If you look at the graphics where Tulsa scores, it's really from about 8 yards in. That's where they make their hay.
They're very assertive inside the 18, especially once you get inside the 12-yard spot. They've definitely made some hay there. It's a good transition by Memphis 901 FC. Tristan Henry basically gifted with that cross, but his distribution was excellent out to Fernando. Fernando didn't have to take a first touch till almost midfield, played it right in his path, and Memphis now enjoying just a moment or two to catch a breather themselves. And I would suspect that's going to be at a premium tonight with this heat and humidity.
Meza touches it to the right. Back to Duncan. So they've got Pickering. There's Lapa. He turns, doesn't get a lot on that one. Right thought, just the execution wasn't there. Didn't get a lot of the boot on the ball that time.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if that was able to get pulled back to around the top of the 6. But I know what he was trying to do is trying to get a good shot. And, I think he just hit that one a little too fat. Good entry pass by Zach Duncan, though.
Although it got the body turn, but it got the toe a little high. And like you said, hit it fat off the bottom of the cleats. Nearing the 25th minute here in Memphis.
I'm going to guess there's a hydration break in about 6 or 7 minutes, given this weather. Makes you wonder, though, why don't they just do it at the half of the half?
The half? That's a good point.
I mean, because you play 15 and then you rest for 15 and then you play 30. I have too much time on my hands sometimes. I think about the numbers.
Right.
It's like you've sweated for 30 and then you only got to play 15 more.
Take it at the 23-minute mark?
Yeah.
22 and a half?
Yeah.
Over to the right side, Sissoko. It was a D.C. United match earlier this year when it was 78 degrees and they had a hydration break. It's like, I have no idea. going down to the southeast, you'll want all the hydration breaks you can get.
How'd you like Audi Field?
It was not beautiful. Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, really nice park. Now, late in the 25th minute. Well, take a look down, taking their time to get this one in. Memphis covering quickly, and yet another turnover. Memphis has done a really nice job on interceptions tonight, getting in front of the ball, creating extra opportunities. Well, let's see, they'll swing it to Ward again. Now they go up the middle of Fernando, but they still have Ward down the left side. Now they'll find Ward. Cutting through, and that time St. Clair sniffed it out, got in front of it. Well, that was the right thought. You could see it getting set up over from Fernando, and you knew Ward was going to try to take that wide turn, but St. Clair knew that's where that pass was going to be.
That was a different wrinkle, wasn't it, Jeff? Because last time it was direct to Akeem Ward, and this time he cuts through. It's a great run, just not far enough ahead where he could get ahead of steam to get past Harvey St. Clair, who does a nice job of shielding and then shepherding the ball away, but Memphis still maintains possession here.
Duncan from about 20 out to the right side. So Pickering, Fernando, Meza all down low. Tried to send it in. It gets turned away. It'll stay with 901 FC. Good spot. A little less than 18. Well, about 18 yards high of the goal line. Meza places it back. Duncan presses up. He got taken down pretty hard. There'll be no whistle on that one. Hasn't been an overly physical match thus far with the two teams as many fouls and aggressive as they have played. Has it been too chippy? I don't think it's been chippy at all, really.
I know I'm going to jinx this, but has there only been one foul in this entire match?
There have been a handful.
3 maybe most?
I'll tell you exactly. 3.
Okay.
2 on FC Tulsa, 1 on Memphis, 9-1 FC.
Okay, there's been 3, so I don't think that's too big of a jinx. I don't think we're going to start handing out yellow cards like it's an Uno game.
Back over to Ward. They'll work that diamond along the back, Carriega. To Duncan. So they'll press Duncan up just a little bit. Pass kept in by Fernando. He'll get pressured by St. Clair. St. Clair, nice job to front him. And now Fernando trying to work his way around. And they'll wrestle around a little bit on the field. And that time will be the second foul on 901 FC. Similar to the early one where they got the elbows locked in. And it's going to be a good 1v1 here for the latter 60-plus minutes, it looks like.
Yeah, they got up and shook hands. There's mutual respect. I mean, they were both going relentlessly for the ball. You love to see that. Now, Akeem Ward has some issues maybe with some shirt tugging. Let's see what happened here. I don't know if he's meaning specifically this. They locked arms.
Well, the foul's going to be where Fernando, you saw, just reached around and made sure he didn't get up. I think Lap, as you were talking about, maybe contending his jersey is being tugged on a couple of times.
I think that's decent officiating right there. He's just saying, hey, this is what happened. This is why you got the call. Wasn't yelling at him. Wasn't threatening with a card. Just saying, hey, don't be doing this.
Well, quick kick that time. They'll bring it back. So a 6-0 shot advantage right now for Memphis 901 FC. 57% possession. Here comes FC Tulsa. Again, they'll try to get as many bodies down there around the box as they can. Sissoko, well, that glanced off the back of his head. Memphis fortunate that time they were able to work it out to midfield.
Tell you what, Patrick Segrist is making himself a known commodity in this match. He's been very busy down the left wing and has not been afraid on a pass down the wing to just one-time that in toward the center of the box as well. He and Quezada starting to become a very intriguing matchup.
Now Ward again to the left side. Back to Carriega. Duncan's been kind of hanging back a little bit tonight. He will press forward at times, and they're really trying to get that offensive possession. Meanwhile, FC Tulsa again gets it to Badge. Badge had the ball just taken from behind at his pocket pick. Here is Fernando. Ward came back there and just took it away. Memphis has something working here. Meza and Pickering. Meza with the ball. Carriega, a chance from distance. He'll hang on to it. Has Duncan. They'll let it roll to Ward. Nice step in that time by St. Clair. He gets tripped up in a foul on Memphis. I've been impressed with St. Clair. They got him a couple times early in this match, but now he's made the adjustment. A pretty stout defender back there.
He has. He's grown into this particular match pretty quickly, and you do see why Tulsa has had themselves a decent spell of form here in the last month or so, is that they are very, very staunch in their defending, and they're pretty resolute in making sure that Penaranda gets the very best each week.
Harvey St. Clair out of London, England. He was on the team of the week in week 23. He's got 8 interceptions this year, but he's really a good body-on-body type defender.
He is.
Another run here, 2-on-2. Into the center, and Churchy is able to break it up at the last second. A little contact made, but not nearly enough for a foul inside the box.
Yeah, I think Stojanovic was hoping maybe to get something out of that, but that's good closing down of Turchi. Turchi was goal side, so he had an opportunity there to slow things down and won Memphis the goal kick. It's a good entry pass by Diallo, though, to spring that again. Tulsa is seeing some opportunities here, as is Memphis. Just hasn't had the finishing touch on either side yet.
31st minute here in Memphis. And each team's had some decent opportunities, even though the stats would tell you a 6-0 shot advantage. But Tulsa's had some chances at offsides, took a goal away earlier. A tremendous early stop by Henry. Took a chance for another away as this and volleyed out into the corner and touched by Memphis. And so now we'll see a set piece here for Tulsa.
Diallo starting to make a few more runs. Zach Duncan able to intercede. And now FC Tulsa will enjoy a corner kick here as Patrick Segrist will be the one to take this. He has He's already had a very busy evening for Tulsa, and it looks like he'll take this one left-footed.
We got Booth in there, and then they've got one deep in the box right now. Just one. Now they'll start to pack it in. That header sent backwards towards St. Clair. That one, I'm not sure if Batch was looking for someone at the top of the 18 or just mishit it off the head.
I think that might have been a mishit, because when you're that close to goal, I think you just want to put it on frame if you can.
And he's got some height on him. That one sent up high by Booth. Opposite side. Little bicycle opportunity that time. Didn't get the full contact on it. Memphis able to get in the middle of third, and Pickering maybe a chance. Couldn't get it settled in. 33rd minute now, still no score.
Stojanovic showing a little bit of agility there with the bicycle attempt. Not necessarily on target, but he kept it going for Tulsa in the box.
I think he caught that more on the shin than he did really on the foot. 33rd minute, another takeaway. Lappin, he's got Pickering to his right. Here's the shot, swatted away. Loose ball contact, and Memphis may have a golden opportunity coming up after Penaranda just batted that ball back out into play.
I'll tell you, that shot was absolutely lashed, and Penaranda got a strong hand to it, but credit to Bruno Lapa continuing his run, taking the rebound off of his own shot, and now earning Memphis the penalty. Yeah, no question about that on the takedown for FC Tulsa. It looks like that was, looks like Bradley Bourgeois on the foul. I don't think there was a card. We'll keep an eye. I don't think there was a card. I think that was just contact going away from the goal. Nothing malicious, just trying to make a stop. Now the question is, will Bruno take his own penalty? It looks like he's stepping up to have that opportunity.
Well, thus far, Memphis on the attack, a 6-0 shot advantage. Penaranda's been there each time Memphis has had a chance. Also one off the post, but Memphis trying to convert here on the penalty kick. You can already tell from the kits the humidity here in Memphis tonight. It was already in about 93 degrees when we started this match. The typical heat and the humidity in the Delta. Well, let's see if the player of the month comes up for Tulsa, or if Lapa is able to put Memphis on the board. Little stutter step, rolls it in, and Memphis 9-1 FC takes the early 1-0 lead as Bruno Lapa's 8th goal of the season.
Well taken by Bruno Lapa. Penaranda, no chance once Lapa knew which way Penaranda was leaning, and just as you said, I think you said it appropriately, rolled it into the net. Just a controlled drive along the ground. Beautifully done, and Memphis now out on the front foot here with that 35th minute goal. His 8th of the season, rather.
Well, just enough. A little stutter steps up there. Got a little bit of a read on Penaranda. Adam going to his right. Penaranda did the right thing as far as he had the right level. He was staying low, just went to the right instead of the left.
Yeah, he had made up his mind. He thought that Bruno was going to turn and try to drive that to the keeper's right. Just didn't get it right, but I mean, you have a 1 in 3 chance of at least guessing the geography on that, so the odds were going to be in Bruno's favor, his 8th of the season. And Memphis 901 FC now here in the 36th minute.
To be frank, it's probably better, and you probably speak to this a little bit more than I can, on a PK to stay low. You see him so many times try for that upper 90. It just sails high and into the grandstands. You get much better chance keeping that to the couple of feet off the ground to the turf itself.
Yeah, you got to have some kind of confidence to be able to bury those in the top shelf. No question about that. But Bruno looked very confident, knew exactly where he was going to go before he took the kick. And Memphis now heading toward halftime. They can preserve this lead. Stephen Glass should be pretty happy with, considering how just how feisty Tulsa's been.
Fernando races down, won't catch up with it as Swahi takes it out of Loni, France. 3 goals for Swahi this year. Came out of Union Omaha, his last club. Played his college ball in the States at Bowling Green, or Bowling Green Falcon in the MAC.
Saw a look there with head coach Stephen Glass, still not happy yet. And he's the kind of guy that's not going to be too thrilled until they're over the finish line.
Well, see if they stay onside or they can control it. Nothing's gone up yet. It was onside. They just never could control on the high hop. It sat there a couple times for Stojanovic, just couldn't get it settled in.
Yeah, I think if he can get that to the floor a little bit more quickly, he's going to at least have a chance to test Tristan Henry, whether for better or for worse.
Nice touch by Fernando de Quiriega. Lapa now. They've got some space on the right side. You see Pickering now going into the 18. Shot from distance, and it just misses. Lunging high into his left. Penaranda.
Tickled the twine there on its way through, Jeff, and didn't miss by much from distance. Terrific drive. And Memphis trying to put another one on before halftime. Here's another great look at it.
Oh, no, he made it just. That made a glance off the crossbar.
And now we've got a yellow card to Stephen Glass.
At least to the Memphis 9-0 FC bench. If it's on the glass, it's someone over there. I don't know if he was contending on the last offensive possession for FC Tulsa. He thought Stojanovic may have been offsides, or what the contention may have been. It may have been someone away from the play that time as well.
We'll make sure, we'll verify who got the yellow card here, but we do know that somebody on the bench. It might have been Stephen Glass was the only one that was up, unless there was some hooting and hollering from the bench, as we say in the South. Oh, nicely done by Penaranda as the back pass. He couldn't handle that, so had to trap that. Well played.
39th minute, about to get into the 40th minute here at AutoZone Park. The penalty kick by Lapa's giving Memphis the 1-0 lead. Well, the outset's man made. It was on the bench, so still, that's all we know. Quiriega to the left side, Fernando. They double him up. St. Clair able to get the still. Duncan, a little contact. Maybe got away with one there against Diallo.
So Caleb Patterson-Sewell is the one we're hearing specifically, the goalkeeper coach and the sporting director for Memphis 901 FC.
To the right side. And look, pass deflected. Nearly deflected right to Knight Pickering. Meanwhile, here's where Tulsa's been good. They've been able to put a few counter opportunities together tonight. And they're going to have to hold up. They're going to be a mile off sides, and they will. That cost them. Got way out in front of that. That time they were looking up, and it looked like it was Batch just got way ahead of the pack.
Yeah, it's good discipline by Memphis 901 FC to not take the bait and keep dropping back. They were very aware of their surroundings.
Well, you can almost tell Sissoko and the rest of the back line when they saw Batch just slammed on the brake, so there would be no question that he was off had they been able to continue that counter opportunity.
And that would have been really one of the few opportunities FC Tulsa has had to play through the middle, Jeff. We've seen a lot of play coming in from the wing, but playing just right down Central Avenue is not something they've done as much.
Fernando has a chance. Got about 15 yards high, and then he ran into the double team. Had no one really to dump it off. He didn't have much choice. Either try to split a double team, fire a very low opportunity shot, or pull back out. Quiriega drops it to Sissoko's. Now come to the center back. He gives it up. Now here comes Tulsa. They've got a chance. Stojanovic, he's tripped up. And there is the run of play continuing.
Zach Duncan apparently picked him clean. Stojanovic disagreed. Referee says play on.
Now Duncan in the 41st minute. And would imagine you'd have a whole lot of stoppage time at the end of this first half.
I'm still shocked we haven't had a hydration break.
Right.
It's been one of the hottest, most humid days of the year, and they've been allowed to play the, looks like the entire half. I think we're beyond the point of return for a break this half.
Ward held away from the ball. Lapa, and he looks up, and he's got Meza. Meza Back to Fernando. Pickering walking his way up top. Back over to Ward along the near wing. Ward able to feed it through quickly to Meza. Back to Ward. Nice give and go. Here comes Meza. Meza slides trying to stay ahead. And I don't know if that was an intentional slide or he just lost his footing. Meanwhile, another counter opportunity and an offsides. And now a little talking. Stojanovic and Turchi with words.
Yeah, I think Stojanovic might have been flagged for a foul in the process too, Jeff. Here's a look at the play just a moment ago from Meza.
Oh, I think he was trying to dump it off to Pickering.
I think he was. I think he was trying to slide that on the floor to Knight Pickering. That was the case.
Yeah, really nice heads-up play then by Meza to at least see Pickering coming off to his right. If he's able to get that slide, all he's got to do is poke it just a little bit. Turchi comes away. May have caught one in the lip, it looks like. We'll take the opportunity in the stoppage to get a couple of guys. Turchi will get a swig.
I don't know if he got popped with an arm or got popped with the ball. I'm not sure what happened there, but looks like a free kick here for Memphis.
Yeah, foul will be on FC Tulsa. Still fairly low for two of the teams that are whistling for fouls the most. 4 on FC Tulsa, 3 on Memphis. Again, they come into this game. Memphis 3rd in the league and Tulsa 5th in the league.
They're not afraid to mix it up, is what you're telling us. Yeah.
They may be saving it for the second half tonight. 50. The possession continues to hover around 54, 55% for 901 FC, and passing game right now being dominated by 901 FC.
And I think some of that can be explained away that Memphis does a lot of short distance passing, working triangles, very content to settle in at the edge of the middle third and attacking third of the pitch. Tulsa's tried to do a lot of over the top, working the wings and then popping it in from the outside. Doesn't take as many passes typically.
Bourgeois now to the back line.
Wouldn't suspect too much added time here at the end of the first half.
I can't imagine much more than a minute or two. We've had the
goal and the
penalty which resulted in the PK we had to wait a couple of minutes for. Other than that,
just the brief stoppage with Turchi. I mean, 2, maybe 3 minutes tops.
Over the top as they again look. Stojanovic waiting in the middle. 901 FC, and they have it to Sissoko. So Memphis able to work it out of the defensive third and garner some possession here in the 45th minute. We'll take a look at scores. Well, some exciting stuff to tell you about at the half here tonight. A lot of great things happen around the USL Championship and its affiliated leagues. We'll find out here in just a moment as we come up on the end of the 45th minute how much time we're going to play.
Man, I love to binge watch USL Championship because it spreads across all the time zones. I finish up a match here, get home, catch some of that West Coast action. It's the best.
Well, this time of year, you want to watch those West Coast games, especially Memphis down in that Western Division. So a couple of minutes, looks like 2 minutes added time. St. Clair playing up. He raced up. He went line to line, and not bad service inside, got turned away.
Yeah, not too bad. We haven't seen too much of that from the right side for Tulsa, so a little wrinkle here toward the end of the first half.
Again, off the back of the head of St. Clair.
It's a good call by Tristan Henry. Says he'll take that and just kill a little clock here. Watch, he'll pick it up and then run to the opposite corner.
You know,
there he goes.
And that wasn't bad thought by St. Clair. He raced up. Now, number one, it's crossing pass, but that's also one of those things. You're about 2 yards off the line. Let me throw it toward net. Let's see if I can get a funny hop.
Yeah.
And you get that deflection, it goes in.
And you know, in a match like this, it just takes a moment like that. And you know, give some credit to FC Tulsa here in the first half. They're playing without Philip Goodrum. He is now with Louisville City FC. And so they're you know, with Stojanovic, and they do have some talent there, but you know, this is a different look for them now, and they have come in on the road and saved the penalty. They have given and gotten a good bit tonight against Memphis. I think they've got to go in. I would think Coach Mario Sanchez has got to go in and say, okay, we're in with a shout. We got a chance after another 45 minutes.
And that's Sissoko now in the foot race trying to just screen this ball, and that's exactly what he'll do. Still going to have an opportunity here. There's about 30 seconds or so left here in stoppage time.
It's almost time for the orange slices to come out, Jeff. Man.
Absolutely right.
That and the sports drinks,
right.
too.
Nearing 47 minutes now. That one's going to ride the line. It'll be kept in by FC Tulsa. And that win, Fernando couldn't take it. If that would have been played off the foot of Fernando, Fernando would have had clear sailing, big one-on-one with Pitterana. But that's how it's going to end here. We're at the 2 minutes of stoppage time, and it's going to be a brutal lap PK in the 35th minute. Possession dominated by Memphis. They'll be happy to go in with this one-goal lead.
Right, they'll be happy, but I don't think they'll be content yet because Tulsa has had some opportunities. They've had a few peaks, and Tristan Henry was tested early. I think second half, this has been a very good matchup already. I think it becomes much more intense the second 45.
It's been a good one thus far as we head to the locker room here in Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis Dino FC leads FC Tulsa 1-0. Here in downtown Memphis in the shadows of the historic Peabody Hotel here at Union and 3rd Avenue, and Memphis enjoying this 1-0 lead. Of course, being here on Old Man River, the mighty Mississippi, so much is intertwined between this old river city and that river. And recently, Memphis unveiled their brand new river kits.
The Mississippi River, one of America's iconic waterways, is the lifeblood of Memphis. This mighty river has shaped the city's history, economy, and culture. The river's dual character, both awe-inspiring and perilous, has been a constant theme throughout history.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata! Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes when we walk past. Running every night, I won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The numbers are brilliant here for Phoenix. Can they find their second right here? Drops it to Lasso. Lasso gives it a go. What a Lasso!
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Penalty kick is the difference as Memphis Dynamo FC leads FC Tulsa on a very hot and humid night, and that's what you do when it's hot and humid. Find the slushy and the popsicle and enjoy the evening cool-off at the half here at AutoZone Park. Well, again, we got a good one going on here, but so much going on around the USL Championship. Fun and exciting things. Here's something. Oakland is going to move within town. Oakland Coliseum not done yet. They're going to play the 2025 season at the historic Coliseum.
How about that? A little soccer. It's been a minute since they've had that in the Oakland Coliseum.
We'll welcome Lexington Sporting Club. They'll be joining the USL Championship starting next season, and so we'll see how that maybe affects some divisions with the expansion team. You never know.
Yeah, and then we know all about the player of the month. We've seen 45 minutes from him tonight at Johan Penaranda, and he is the reigning player of the month for July, and we've gotten a close-up look as to why. Strong in goal tonight, other than the penalty kick, no fault to his own. He's looked very good tonight.
So that's what's going on around the USL Championship as of now. New arenas and new teams all making their way around the league for the 2025 season. Speaking of the conferences, here's how it stacks up and what we're looking at here tonight. Memphis right now, they are tied for third with Oakland, but Oakland has the seeding advantage on the goal differential there. They've got a match in hand now. Memphis wins tonight. They will vault themselves into a tie with Sacramento. Sacramento, unless Memphis wins this match 4-0, would still have the seeding advantage, but moving up to third and trying to start to wrestle things away would be big here for Memphis.
It would help Memphis 901 FC to get a win tonight to further separate themselves. Look at near the bottom, Jeff. They're 28, 27, 27, 26. You still have some teams that could go on a heater and make their way up into the middle of that table. There's still enough time. There's not much margin for error, but it's possible. But every win for Memphis 901 SC just continues to seal its resume for the top half.
I mean, it's realistic. San Antonio, if they could catch fire, really El Paso's really mathematically the only team that may be out of it now for a playoff. And speaking of some of these scores, full-time, Hartford Athletic over Las Vegas 2-1. Pittsburgh over Colorado Springs 2-1. Rhode Island, who I think has been an outstanding expansion club, they get a 1-1 draw with Oakland, and that's big here tonight if you're a 901 FC fan. Loudoun United blanks Tampa Bay there in the 90th minute 2-0. Louisville City FC 1-0 over Charleston Battery in the 65th. New Mexico United, the top team in the West, leading Monterey Bay FC by a 1-0 score so far. But that Oakland score will be interesting to watch the remainder of the night. They're right there with Memphis right now.
No question about it. I think this is a good one to check out. And like I said, it's like all across all the time zones. You get that, and then you have the Women's League, which cranks up this weekend. It is a great time to be a soccer fan.
Absolutely. We'll tell you more about that Super League as we go along in the broadcast here tonight. But in the meantime, Memphis 901 FC with a 1-0 advantage. 1-0 Memphis 9-1 FC here at AutoZone Park, leading FC Tulsa. There's been a lot of action despite just the one goal coming off a PK. Tim, you take a look at this game, a 9-1 shot advantage for Memphis. But as far as this action we've seen, there's been a lot of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tristan Henry called into action early. It was a second-minute save as he had to be on his toes. But no worries, too, as Johan Pinaranda on the spot, and there was one that was tipped around and onto the bar. So Memphis showing some initiative, but Tulsa did too. And then Bruno Lapa, I believe he just got just a little bit under that one. Patrick Segrist has been very busy with Stojanovic. Here's an entry ball, though. It was no-brainer for Tristan Henry, though. The attack didn't pan out so well for FC Tulsa early on, but then the penalty. And Bruno Lapa makes short work of that. He goes center right to get his 8th goal of the year and put Memphis up 1-0.
Just rolled it, had him leaning to his right and put it on the lower third of the net. Pretty much down the middle, just off to the right side of his foot. When with the golf tournament in town, he goes over there and takes a couple chip shots into the stands. And I'll watch it drive it down the fairway. And that's the only goal we've had here in the opening half. 54% possession by Memphis, 9-3 shot advantage. The pass is sticking out as well, Tim, at 245 to 212. I guess the big number that sticks out still is, and as you said, we're not trying to jinx it, but only 7 total fouls in this match.
Yeah. For first half, that must have been the getting to know you period, because I have a feeling with Tulsa needing these points that are sitting on the table, I think they're going to have to come out a bit more aggressively in the second half and really try to put Memphis on their heels. And sometimes that means having to bang bodies, and Memphis 901 FC not afraid of that as well. So, I think there's more of that to come, Jeff.
And maybe they just felt it's too hot to foul tonight. So
I'm just too tired to go elbow tonight.
4-3 FC Tulsa on that foul number. So that's a look at your halftime stats here. Well, we talked about some exciting stuff coming to USL Championship, and we're talking about the USL Super League, new Division I Pro Women's Soccer League here in the U.S. We've seen the progression of the women's game over the last 2 decades, and, we're getting underway here today in the Super League. Big matchup on Wednesday or tomorrow night at 6:30. You got the TV deal with Peacock. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're talking about Brooklyn, Carolina, Dallas, D.C., Fort Lauderdale, Lexington, Spokane, Tampa Bay, and it's great to see the development of the women's game.
This is fantastic. I mean, right on the heels of the U.S. women's national team triumph at the Paris Olympics, and then, of course, being on Peacock, where you have so much great action there. They're just off on such a great front foot here, and looking forward to seeing some more wonderful First Division women's soccer here in the USA.
Well, what it does is, right now you've got 350 pro women roster spots with the NWSL. This Super League now is going to provide 200 more opportunities for the female players to find a spot to play professionally.
And they're only just beginning. They're in some of the really deeply rooted soccer cities. And I tell you what, they are really doing this right, and I can't wait to see some of these matches. I haven't picked my favorite team yet. I'm going to have to maybe scout out just a little bit, see who I'm going to pull for this year.
Scout or else put the names in a hat and draw, and that's your favorite team. I'm just going to wait and see who wins the championship. That'll be my favorite team first year.
Bandwagon works too.
Yes, just play from the front. Well, here we go. We'll see what comes out of this match. Again, we'll keep an eye, too, on some of the other scores to see how this match will play out and how everything will be affected by the end of the evening as far as the standings. Memphis a chance, again, maybe to get into the top 2. Big opportunity. Memphis pressing on early that time to the right of Pinaranda, but nothing comes of it. Meanwhile, FC Tulsa, if they get a point, could be above the playoff line.
So getting something out of this match on the road, you always want to do that, but the positive consequence of maybe sneaking above that playoff line would be a good thing. Here's Memphis giving FC Tulsa a bit of their own medicine, playing directly down the wing here to start the second half, rewarded with a corner.
Now they go into the middle, and as you see there, Marlon Santos with 7 goals is starting the second half for 901 FC. So they've got a dynamic score. Chance here, gets loose, shot and a goal, and Memphis makes it 2-0 right off the bat. Turchi races in, and Memphis takes advantage of maybe a missed clearance again.
Yeah, for Memphis 901 FC, Lucas Turchi is one of those guys that you count on corner kicks, and of course he was retreating, but never retreated all the way to the back line, but it looks like that's going to be waved off for Memphis 901 FC.
Well, that's one for each club tonight. Stojanovic had a goal earlier. Well, it was close. It looked like he waited on it, but they have the better view. They're parallel with it and didn't like what they saw.
Tell you what, that was a dangerous dance the FC Tulsa defender did, because that entire line just stopped. And you better be right, and in that instance they were, and Lucas Turchi denied his third goal of the season there in the 46th minute. Here's another look. I think he tried to get his way back on side. I think that was a good call. I think he was off maybe just by a little bit, but you got to love his initiative. And again, we've had now one waved off on either side.
Well, alluding it to another sport, Turchi trying to keep that one skate back along the boo line and not get whistled for offside is what he was trying to do. But, it was close. Stojanovic's goal was close on a very close offsides, and Turchi trying to hang back just couldn't do it. So
it's a good finish. It's a good finish. Good finish went to waste.
Yeah, so they basically get the corner kick to start out the half, and on the corner they weren't able to get a deep clearance and provided another opportunity for Turchi.
And Memphis, Stephen, this team under Stephen Glass, they are not afraid to press multiple numbers high, and you see exactly why, because it can pay off when done well.
Meanwhile, Batch tried to make a little bit of a counter run. Memphis little heel touch, and Batch comes back to take it over to Segrist. Segrist works it back to Dom. Owen Dom out of Versailles, Kentucky. Well, chip shot, and Memphis now having a little challenge getting just a deep clearance. Here is Lappa to the right side. Memphis out and running. They'll feed it through, but that will be picked off. Memphis looking ahead. Again, they've got Marlon now in the match. We've talked so much about Carriega now 6 goals, Lappa the scoring threat. And that's because Marlon Santos has not scored in a little bit, opened things up. Everyone marked him, provided those opportunities, but we'll see if he can get going again. There's a left footer, and that's going to take a little backspin. You can see that rise there about the last 20 feet off the foot of Carriega.
Yeah, a little bit of a lean back launch, that one up into the Bluff City Mafia. But again, Memphis aggressive here to start the second half, and psychologically I think they have to be, because this is the team that you do want to put away if you can. If you let them linger and you let them continue to defend and give them an opportunity on the counterattack, FC Tulsa will make you pay.
Well, across midfield off the head of Diallo. Nearly had his man Stojanovic as well. Marlon with his back, little contact, inadvertent, run of play continues. And for the first time tonight, we really see Pitteranda come out. But he was going up for the header. It looks like he caught someone in the nose or the mouth. We'll see who this is. Still 50-50 header opportunity that time. And caught the brother. I think he's talking about maybe came down on his shoulder.
Trying to get a look. Is that maybe Alex Swahi?
I tapped his shoulder a couple of times, so I don't know if that's where he landed or if he took something in the face. Good thing is he's getting up to his feet, and so that is good news. Everyone will get some early water here in the second half. Again, as you pointed out, tonight, one of the hotter evenings in the Bluff City this year, always with the humidity and the delta, and so everyone will take an opportunity to catch a little hydration. Again, it wouldn't look bad. It's 82 degrees right now, but you're still sitting at 75% humidity tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those nights that any and every little bit of hydration works. Listen, I mean, you grew up in Memphis. I grew up in Memphis. The heat and humidity, you start cramping up later in the match. Anytime you can sneak a little extra hydration, it's going to be for your benefit. Good news, though, it looks like Swahi's going to be able to stay in the match. He's okay, going to dust himself off. Everybody's going to be okay.
The fans staying cool, out with some cold beverage. You saw those fans a little while ago up in the club level, always enjoying a little extra AC. 51st minute, so we only had 2 minutes at a time in the opening half. So right now you're probably already looking at 2 to 3 minutes being put on the board early within the first 6 of the second half.
Yeah, that's a good point. And now we've got a stoppage immediately after the restart. I think maybe, okay, Swahi's going to have to come off and then be ceremoniously hailed back onto the pitch. So we'll have another uncontested drop here for the FC Tulsa keeper.
Right now, the big number in this match, 12 one-shot advantage for 9-1 FC. Just 3-0 as far as shots on target, though. But they've been applying the pressure, and that's what we talked about with your player of the month in Pinoranda. Just put it on net and continue to apply the pressure.
Continue to pepper, yeah. You know, they've had a lot of shots, but probably would like to see a few more of those go on target. But again, they are getting some just little peaks, some little spots of light where they can take a shot. But the FC Tulsa still hanging tough here.
Now Meza, a little give and go. Meza's got a little bit of room, puts it in the middle. Lapa leaves it, shot it, and tremendous save.
And let me tell you, Pinoranda is down. He took that directly to the face, and they're going to need some help for him. He got clobbered with that shot. It was absolutely mashed. That save was with, I don't know if that was with his ear or his forehead. We didn't see the last few frames of where the ball struck him, but it struck him hard. You could almost hear that in the press box, Jeff.
Wow, it's off to the left side of his head. That's where he's rubbing it the most, just above the ear. Beautiful opportunity for Memphis, and really just nice job of ball movement. And Fernando winds up.
And let's see if he collides. Oh, yeah, he took it. It looks like almost in the ear, and then St. Clair rolls over him. I don't think he took a knee from St. Clair, but in that moment, yeah, I mean, there's no question that he got his bell rung on that one, because that was blasted from point-blank range from Luis Fernando. Now the question will be, can Pinoranda continue? Looks like he is taking some hydration. He is sitting up, thankfully.
If they do, worst-case scenario, have to make a move, you got a Michael Creek who has played this year, Joey Roberson. So you do have a couple of guys. We'll see who they brought on the road with them.
Yeah, I believe Michael Creek would be the one that would be warming up. He's the backup on the road tonight for them. But it looks like he is upright. You know, let's see if he gets the concussion test here, and if he's allowed to continue. Because what do? Do you have a field player put some gloves on temporarily if he can't pass this?
Well, they're going to get their backup moving around over there and warming up on the sideline for FC Tulsa. So they'll do concussion protocol. Now this will give us some substantial stoppage time at the end of this match, but you want to take all the time you can. That is Michael Creek, a Missouri State Bear, getting warmed up over there out of St. Louis, Missouri, a big soccer town, and he's made his way to the pro ranks, and he is getting loose. So we'll see. Looks like Pinoranda may stay in.
Yeah, you hope so. You want him to continue, because it was unfortunate. It was a terrific save. He made himself big. And I'm sure Michael Creek will continue to warm up, because even though he passed this initial test, you know, it may be a few moments just to make sure that he is okay. But thankfully, it looks like he will be able to continue.
Well, that's an important thing. You talk to the ref, go, did I make the save? Yes. All right, let's go. Here we go, back underway. So we've had two stoppages early here in the second half.
And that's the second time that Tulsa has just hoofed it all the way back down to Tristan Henry, just giving Memphis the ball back.
Sissoko. A little shove in the back to Bezo. It's like Dom's the one that got in the back with the push there. So for 901 FC, Quezada, he'll peel off now. He'll let Duncan take it. See if they can get Duncan going here in the second half. Duncan spent a lot of time kind of on the back line of the opening half, and they'll push him up into that midfield area. He does such a great job controlling the action for 901 FC.
Good pressure by Tulsa.
No, they took it away from Turchi. They got a 2-on-3. And the numbers played out for Memphis with the one-man advantage. Memphis, meanwhile, trying to go long and over the top. Couldn't quite connect. They'll have possession here. Now 901 FC's got some numbers. They'll drop it off left side. Fernando leaves it up into the middle. They wanted the extra pass to Lap and never got a shot off.
Yeah, the layoff was just a bit heavy. Meza could not run onto that. He ended up having to chase it to even get his first touch. So bad break for Memphis, but Tulsa trying to break out and create something on the counter.
Diallo with the left foot. He'll chip one in, and Henry did the smart thing. He had to wait for it to get to him, but as soon as that took the first hop, he dove on top of it. He had someone coming in quick. Meanwhile, Fernando gets over to Marlon. They want the offsides, and they'll get it.
I tell you, Jeff, on the play just 10 seconds ago, if Lucas Turchi doesn't get a subtle touch of his head, that is going to fall right to an oncoming attacker. It looked like it might have been Diallo closing down. No, actually, it was Diallo who served the ball. But look at this. Just a little bit of a nod from Turchi keeps that off of Stojanovic's leg. And then the quick counterattack by Memphis. So even just the subtlest of touches make a huge difference. And Turchi didn't give up on that ball and decide to play the defender. He played the ball, and that paid off for Memphis there as they avoided what could have been a calamity at the back.
Well, it was a really nice service as Aaron Bibbo will now come in. So they will make the move here. This will be our first sub of the night. So Bibbo out of Ventura County FC checks into the match. St. Clair is out.
That's an offensive move, too. They're going to try to throw another number forward.
Well, now you're going to get into the back 30, and you talked about pregame. A quick kick here. Let's see what Memphis is going to get going. And they let the run of play continue. They didn't whistle them for the quick kick. Lapa. Nice service to the right side, but couldn't be completed. Quezada had a run on it. They stepped right in front of him. But going back to my point in the pregame, we talked about it, and like FC Tulsa, they've got plenty. They're a fine roster, but when Stephen Glass is ready to start making moves, and he's already got Marlon in there, I mean you've got some guys that can fire away. Beccaro, Arbanacas, two of the new players for 901 FC. He's got some firepower on that 901 FC bench.
Yeah, and he does have some leadership at the back that he can bring in too. Carson Vom Steeg, of course, and then also you've got a wild card who got a terrific goal at Wednesday, and Dylan Borzak. That's a guy that can run for miles and miles and get you some quality minutes too.
Marlon back up high. They'll look to Quezada. Quezada drops it off. Memphis will just bring it back, reorganize, get some spacing. Arriaga. One of two players who thought they had a goal tonight, only to be whistled for offsides. Arriaga for 901 FC, and then, of course, Stojanovich for FC Tulsa in the first half. Duncan had that pass clipped. Not quite cleared all the way out. Memphis keeps it in midfield, and it looks like Arriaga's down back behind the play. Fernando couldn't get loose, and
it's Turchi.
Yeah,
looks like
Turchi.
might be Lucas Turchi took a nasty spill on his shoulder.
Well, relatively cleanly first half played tonight. We're seeing some guys getting banged up a little here in the second half. Turchi up. Wow, he's still grabbing that right elbow. You don't want to see that. He's been so good on the back line. Yeah, you can see where he slammed the elbow. But I believe he's going to stay in.
I think you might be hard-pressed to get him out at this point. Unless it just gets him. I mean, he looks like he is in some agony, though.
He got tied out with Bibb out, I believe. He just came off the bench. It's getting to be that time here in the latter 30 minutes, so you'll start to see a lot of players from each team start to get their warm-ups behind the dugouts.
Memphis will do the courtesy of providing the restart back to Tulsa, as Tulsa had possession when play stopped.
61st minute, still a 1-0 lead on the penalty kick by Bruno Lapp at the 35th minute.
You know, the question for Tulsa has been how do you get the ball to Diallo and Stojanovich in where they can have just a couple of touches to take a rip, because really since about the first few minutes of the match we haven't seen them crack the code.
They're looking for Lazo up front that time. Booth.
And also another name that we haven't called is Patrick Segrist.
Yeah.
You know, first half he was he was putting in his mileage down the attacking left wing for Tulsa. We've barely even noticed that he's out there, and he was I thought he was pretty effective in the first half.
Tulsa's made their runs off some counters. See if they can get some possession at this point. And it's a takeaway, and here comes Memphis. Duncan's going to lead the way right down the middle. He's got Marlin to his right, and that's who he sees. Marlin not able to get much on it, rolled it off the bottom of the boot right into the hands of Pineranda. Now we've got a foul, it looks like, just outside the 18, right at the circle.
Yeah, we're gonna the center official's going to bring this back. There was a foul on the entry pass. Duncan was taken down, which, by the way, I thought was a terrific run because he made sure, looked to his left and right, and make sure both of his guys were on side, so he knew what his options were. And then a good entry pass. And then as he finished up the follow through, he got taken down. Here's another look at that. But look, he's checking to see who's on side, and then he gets nudged down from behind. I think that might have been Bradley Bourgeois. Actually, it wasn't Bourgeois. It was another Tulsa defender. It might have been excuse me. It might have been the Babu that came in that knocked him down. Didn't see if a card was issued on this one. I don't think so. I think Memphis will just get a chance about 30 yards from goal here, and this is almost dead center. So some options here for Memphis, but notice how high of a line. It's about 20 yards out. FC Tulsa's going to stack a high line here and keep Memphis from a run of the box.
That's Carriega, obviously, right there in the center. That's Meza off to the left. He'll take it. Got a little elevation, and it's sent away by the wall. Good thought. He elevates a little bit more. That's going to be a tough one right around the crossbar.
Yeah, and it's going to take something really special to beat Pineranda from that distance. But Tulsa resetting their lines very quickly, decompressing, doing a good job, forcing Memphis back into their own third now.
Sissoko retreats. They'll press Memphis. Turchi, who still getting his elbow looked at on that foul, went over to the bench. They took a look at it, but remains in the match here in the 64th minute. Sissoko, a lot of room here to look things over. Stays to the middle, and they'll just work it over to the right side, Quezada. Now Memphis gets it back to Duncan. Duncan throws it into the corner. He gets taken down.
And the referee does make the call on that, so there will be a foul. They'll bring that back out near midfield. Part of the Memphis bench came up, including technical director Caleb Patterson-Sully. Better be careful. He might get a week's vacation.
So Duncan went down, and then when he dumped it into the corner, Lappa looked like, and he's okay, but you can tell, I don't know if he caught a divot or not, but it looked like he may have rolled the ankle just a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that. Here's Duncan. Threads the needle down to Quezada, and he's going to lose it, and that'll make its way out of bounds. That'll give it back to FC Tulsa's Stephen Glass. Always going to fight for his club.
He is going to fight for his club. Pretty safe lip reading. I don't.
So right now, 57.5% on possession for Memphis. So it's stayed around anywhere 54 to 57% majority of the evening. And the opportunities for FC Tulsa have come on counters and quick runs, not necessarily long possessions. Carriega will just dump it on back to Tristan Henry.
And Memphis 901 FC has done a very good job of clogging up the passing lanes, too. They have come in well prepared to take on this Tulsa team. And again, you know, Memphis had the midweek match at Miami, getting in late to Memphis. So really, the only training they had was light training on Friday, just trying to save a little bit of gas in the tank for this match, specifically for the second half.
Quezada, nifty move to the right side. He beats one, and his entry pass is tipped. Memphis able to find it again, and the shot is going to be sent out after it went off Lappa's foot at first. Quezada again, and this one's going to be deflected, and Memphis will throw it in about 5 yards high.
Tulsa's been good value for the money tonight. They've been solid. A lot of people will ask off the air, what's one word you would describe Memphis 901 FC? And I think maybe the adjective, given the fact they're in the Western Conference and they've had multiple weeks with, 2-3 games in a week and still perform well, I would say resilient might be a pretty good adjective for Memphis.
Well, Memphis will put a couple down there in the middle. They look for distance. Here's the shot, and that one is deflected away again.
It's a terrific read by the keeper. I think he knew where Akeem Ward was going to go. Once he opened up, I think he knew he was going to go left. Just solid goalkeeping.
I'll try to make something out of this in the corner. And Sissoko with his size. It's two big guys going for the corner. Sissoko wrestles that one away. Let's take another look at this one. Nice hesitation. That was huge right there. And again, right hand crosses the body. Another tremendous save.
Yeah, tremendous save, matching the effort by Akeem Ward. Just that extra touch to even get a shot off was terrific by him. I know Memphis will be happy to continue to test the goalkeeper. Still only up by 1 goal, though, and plenty of time left in this match.
So, 68th minute, we just enter into there. USL Championship Soccer continues on the ESPN networks in September. Western Conference matchup of teams fighting across the playoff line. Last season's champ, Phoenix Rising FC, will host FC Tulsa, who we're watching right now, Friday, September 6th at 11 Eastern on ESPN2. Here comes Memphis. Marlon rolls it into the middle. No one there to catch up with it. Fernando was somewhat close, but Marlon, to his defense, not much he could do in that position in the corner.
No question. Then you have Swahi able to turn, but Memphis working hard to react to loss of possession to get it right back.
Memphis has numbers. They get it through to Fernando. Another great save, but the follow cannot be stopped. Carriega will get his goal.
You mentioned it in pregame. For Memphis 901 FC to beat the USL Championship Player of the Month, they were going to have to be relentless. And that play from Memphis, the pressure was relentless. They gave up possession, got it back quickly, and then moved quickly in with the first shot saved well, but the second irresistible from Samuel Carriaga.
Well, look, Pinoranda had another highlight save. No one there to pick up the loose ball here.
And, Fernando's got to think, what's a guy got to do to score a goal? And Samuel says, this is what you got to do. You got to clean up the rebound.
Carriaga here gets his 7th goal, so he pulls into a tie with Santos. Lapa now with 8 with his penalty kick earlier. But you never know. Fernando may be the next player with 9 matches left after tonight, as you got to assume Carriaga is going to start picking up a lot of marks. Maybe it's Fernando late in the season that provides that scoring punch. But Carriaga enjoying things right now. He's loving life.
Goal number 7. He's in 7th heaven right now. No doubt about that here as we come up on the 70th minute. And I guess we'll see. Will they have a second half hydration break? Because this is about the time that you do it. I know in Youth League, this is when we'd go over to Coach Tillman's wife, Stacy, and go get some orange slices and ask her when we can drink the Rondo after the game.
Here's where things are really tough now for FC Tulsa. If you just look at what they've done this season, because over 2 goals has been a rarity. Only 5 times have they scored more than 2 goals in a match. So, numbers would tell you the 2 goals here may potentially be enough. Doesn't mean you can relax over the last 20-plus minutes, though.
No, not at all. And one of the key resume builders for any team is going to be goal differential. Memphis won't want to stop at this point. They'll want to secure 3 points, but they'll also want to make sure that they keep the door locked, and they also try to maybe expand on the lead as Tulsa makes another chess move here, a couple of chess moves here.
Yeah, Dalu coming in. You saw Ferry coming in for Batch. Diallo out. Again, Dalu is now checked in. Dalu out of West Bloomfield, Michigan. And Ferry out of Southlake, Texas. Ferry's got 3 assists on the season. Dalu's got 1 assist on the year. Neither one have been able to find the back of the net as of yet this year. Now you'll see a little bit of cramping up here in the 71st minute. Well, been a rough one tonight for 901 FC. Quezada comes up limping around. We saw Lapa look like he turned his ankle a little bit, and then it was Turchi that went down on his elbow. And sure, they'll be happy not to have to jump right back on the the pitch. They'll have the full week after playing a midweek game this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with these knocks, this has not been a dirty match by any stretch of the imagination.
Here's Marlin back toward the net. Marlin turns, deflected out, should earn Memphis a corner, and it did go off the boot of FC Tulsa. So Marlin tried the drop step to his left, just couldn't get around.
So Memphis with a rare corner kick tonight. And Noe Meza will launch this one in. He'll an outswinger as Memphis lines up in a straight line from just inside the 6 to the top of the 18.
Fernando in the middle, lapping just to the top of the 6. Little line drive gets sent away. Turchi able to catch up with it. A little 1v1 in the corner. That ball somehow stays in bounds. Here comes the Duncan, and Memphis gets the best of this one. Nice job of staying with it for 901 FC. Quezada controlled it back up into the back line. And well off the line, you see Henry out there. That's the difference. You get to see two different styles here. Henry, a guy that likes to come out, play the angles. He doesn't mind coming way off the line up into the middle third when he needs to. Meanwhile, Penaranda, more of a guy that stays in that 6-yard box between the posts, but we've seen the highlight saves he's made tonight.
Yeah, he's been terrific in goal. The scoreline doesn't reflect what he's been doing.
That ball sit through the middle by Segrist that time as he made a little bit of a push. No result for FC Tulsa.
To your point about Tristan Henry, you essentially get an extra sweeper in the way that he likes his style of play. He's very confident off the line. He seems like he's keenly aware of when there could be a threat from distance. So, it is a risk that you do take, but he's, his veteran experience, he seems confident in being able to play off the line. And it does take a little bit of pressure off the defenders when their backs are to the goal.
Right now here in the 73rd, about to be 74th minute, still 57.3 or 59% possession for Memphis. Memphis has won 57.3% of the duels as Sissoko will just send it down. Still a 17-1 shot advantage. And now the numbers bearing out 7-0 shots on target.
So Tristan Henry, other than really getting worked in the first couple of minutes, had just a little bit of cleanup work to do. He did have the one that Turchi guided back to him to start the second half, but again, not busy, and I'm sure he likes it that way.
A tremendous job by DeLue keeping that one in bounds off the header. He had to really climb the ladder for the initial header. Momentum took him out of bounds. He was able to race back in and make a decent little run of play there toward the net. At the very least, he's earned FC Tulsa a corner kick from Segrist.
Yeah, critical challenge successful for Ab Sissoko as he's able to get that over the line and let Memphis reset here to defend this corner kick.
Segrist with the left foot. Header deflected to the backside, and Quezada, he'll have the clearance. Now Memphis may have a chance to get out and run. No. Excellent job to take the initiative that time by FC Tulsa because it looked like Memphis was going to be 4 wide. Meanwhile, FC Tulsa trying to make a little bit of a break. Harry comes in and he breaks it up. So Janovic had a chance there to turn the corner.
Yeah, Memphis was just one touch away from breaking free, and then Tulsa again earning another corner kick, starting to put a little more pressure on. Memphis has been up to the task thus far, and I know they'll want to preserve what they've got in the clean sheet to this point. But Stojanovic had a say earlier. Here's Segrist. He's going to try to put something in the blender.
His corner wasn't bad. The prior kick, that wasn't terrible, just no one able to get anything on it inside the box. But I thought the service inside the box off the corner was good. He won't be able to catch up with this one. They'll give it back to Memphis here early in the 76th minute.
Still a couple of moves available for both coaches. You see a few players warming up. Mario Sanchez worrying about the here and now, but he does have a little bit of a bench that he can still go to. He's got 1 or 2 subs left, and I think he's about to make a move here in just a moment.
Don't forget, Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. And we have a 901 player down just in front of the FC Tulsa bench. That's going to be Marlin. May have caught an elbow or something into the back of the head. And he'll be slow to get up. So there's going to be some more added time. I'm not going to be surprised if we have
6 minutes?
5 to even upwards of 8 minutes on added time before this match is over. Interesting, we were talking about the USL Super League, and let's take a look at where this contact came from. Oh, he just got tied up. He may have got tied up there and caught. Meza may have inadvertently caught him.
Yeah,
right there.
because you can see Meza caught a little friendly fire there, but it looks like Marlon's going to be okay. He'll have to come off for probably a moment or two, but also gives both clubs a chance for a little bit of a hydration break, too. Still surprised that we haven't had a specific one. Yeah.
The going back to Mario Sanchez, interesting, we talk about the Super League and the evolution of the women's game, that Mario Sanchez came over from the women's game, and as technical as that game is now, they're pretty much intertwined. You can go over from different divisions and just fit right in. They're very similar in their technical aspects.
Absolutely, and of course many of the tactics translate like for like, no question about that.
Now, Mario Sanchez had his team very much into this, but even with added time, opportunities are going to become limited. And with a team that is 17th in the league with just 24 goals, 2-goal advantage for 901 FC, looming pretty large right now.
And you're talking about a Memphis team that's happy to...
Off to the left. That took a couple deflections. Henry able to reach out. I don't think he touched it. He may have gotten a glove on it because it looks like we have a corner coming up here for FC Tulsa. That's what you got to be careful of in the latter 13, 14 minutes, is something just popping up on you like that.
Let's see if he had this covered. I think he might have. Is that going to be off Sissoko's shoulder maybe?
Yeah. And he may have got a fingertip on it.
If I were the goalkeeper, I'd take credit for it.
Yeah.
Pad those stats.
Check the sheet at the end of the match. Doesn't really swing in too much. Not a bad header. Sissoko.
That's going to be out for a goal kick. It's a good call by the assistant referee. That's a tough call, though, right on the end line and then having to see around the goalposts to be able to make a clear decision on that. But that's good work.
So nothing comes of it for FC Tulsa. Now we'll have a few more moves made here by Memphis 901 FC. Borzak, Arbanakis. Borzak, that's a mainstay, and you talk about one of the most active players you'll see in the USL Championship. Borzak is everywhere at once, and then Arbanakis, the Australian, has really provided a lot for Memphis 901 FC.
Yeah, he's been a welcome addition, and Luis Fernandez put in a good shift tonight, so well done by him. He'll be frustrated that he didn't score a couple of goals because he did have some great opportunities, but I think the key takeaway for him is he put himself in a position where he could succeed, but he came up against really a terrific keeper tonight. Just some tough luck for Fernando, but fortunately he may end up on the winning side after 90 minutes.
Carriega now jumping in on the scoring, and two other players with 7+ goals. You got to think it's going to open some stuff up for him over the last 9 regular season matches. We've talked about if Memphis 901 FC can grab the 3 points tonight and climb up in the table. They had to switch to the West this year, which means a lot of long road trips for 901 FC. But if they get home matches, it's a long road trip for the visitor in the playoffs. Memphis 901 FC a chance to add to it, maybe to put this match away if they can add a third goal here late. But if Memphis wrestles that 2 seed away, that's an opportunity for a couple of home matches that all of a sudden the rest of those teams of the West have to come way over here to east of the Mississippi River.
Yeah, I mean, that's a terrific point. The higher they go up, then the more they can force other teams to travel. And, maybe not as big of a deal in the East, but it is certainly more pronounced in the West.
Big run here for FC Tulsa. They stay onside the trailer, and an incredible job by Duncan. Took it off the foot from behind. And it won't go down as a save for Duncan, but he definitely probably prevented an opportunity for Tulsa to make it a 1-goal game with less than 10 minutes to go.
And this entry pass is actually really good, and Stojanovic has saucer-sized eyes. I mean, he's got that teed up, and Duncan flies in from nowhere. Just a terrific piece of defensive work by Zach Duncan, continuing to show he is one to be counted on for Memphis 901 FC.
I think if Duncan doesn't get a piece of that, we're looking at a 2-1 match here with 9 minutes plus any added time left on. We talk about a big momentum swing that could have been. Meanwhile, here comes Milo Yosef coming in.
And that'll call it a night for Patrick Segrist. Very involved early on, and then just kind of, I don't know if they scrapped the plan of trying to work him down the left side, but much quieter second half for Patrick Segrist.
Josef out of Aachen, Germany. Played at Marshall University. Look, they're known for football, but they were soccer national champions just, I believe it was 5 seasons ago in the NCAA. So they've got quite a soccer program up there for the Thundering Herd as Sebastian Sanchez out of Louisville, Kentucky now into the match for FC Tulsa. The 82nd minute, about to roll over into the 83rd.
So Memphis trying to buy a little space, a little time, and they're good enough that they can be content to knock it around and just play some keep away and make Tulsa suffer. But right now Tulsa is going to take every opportunity they can to try to push, and they have to. They have to do with haste.
A lot of pressure now in the corner, and there's going to be a foul. And odd to say tonight, you and I have talked about it a couple of times. Not a lot. Now, they have really increased for Tulsa, as that should end up being their 12th foul of the match. It was just 4-3. In fact, Memphis not whistled for one in the second half of it yet, but that should be the 8 in the second half now for FC Tulsa.
And this match is not taken a turn for the petty.
No.
Or any kind of really just unnecessary aggression. These two teams have played hard. They've had fouls. They've had their fair share. They've given and taken. Memphis has just been able to convert when they've needed it.
No, it's not gotten chippy in the least. Now on the near wing, Duncan trying to walk the tightrope there and lost it. A little acceleration down the left side. At that time, Mario Sanchez throws his hands up, wanted something. Some kind of he wanted a foul is what he wanted, as Alvarado Quezada wrote him off the ball out of bounds.
Tristan Henry will be in absolutely no hurry here. It's nicely headed on by Dylan Borzak. Nobody there from Memphis, but really as the clock ticks down, I don't think they'll mind at this point. And watch, still a flat 4 at the back with Zach Duncan just in front of them. Memphis not putting too many chips onto the table here. They are pressing with 3, but they're going to keep Duncan and they're going to keep Cariaga and Borzak back and just make Tulsa try to work hard to even get out of their own half. This is smart by Stephen Glass. Good strategy as Tulsa finally able to break the first line.
85th minute, but wouldn't be shocked if we have anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes of actual game time remaining. Once we get the word of the stoppage time, we're still a little over 5 minutes from learning that one. Little bit of a tumble in there as they got tied up. Nothing going to come out of that as Babu got tied up down there. As you mentioned, Henry just going to jog on over, walk on over, take his time. Let it roll right next to the line before he grabs it.
That's how I learned the Pythagorean theorem when I played. That C squared is the longest, so you pick it up in one corner, you run it to the other because it takes forever.
High ball. Well, he gave that one a ride well past midfield, almost into the attacking third. 86th minute. And a 2-goal advantage for Memphis 901 FC. Out to the right side, Armanakis. Armanakis just sends it back, and here comes Henry. Not as high as we have seen him off the line tonight, but he is still out of the box to Sissoko.
Good situational awareness.
Long diagonal pass. He had Borzak over there. Ward was over there. And they'll come away with it. Here is Sanchez. Sanchez plays it long and to his left, and it never makes it to DeLue.
It's good work by Quezada. He's playing in compressed in the middle. If that gets over him, that could be trouble. He's very confident there, and that was actually a very good read to intercept the pass. If that one gets through, Tulsa could be on to something.
A little bit of a run that time by DeLue again, got tripped up. And no whistle, no foul. And now Marlon Santos got taken off his feet. They're letting him play tonight.
Yeah.
Over the top, but not far enough. Sissoko.
It's the kind of fall that I'd take in front of mom if my big brother pushed me.
Right.
It's like, ah!
Look what he did.
Ground him.
87 minute. So Janovic turned, but he had nothing, and so he wisely plays it back outside. Serve it into the 18, headed away by 901 FC. Duncan rolled his foot over the ball, then he got tripped up, and that'll be a foul on FC Tulsa in the 87th minute. It's been a 17-5 shot advantage, 7-0 as far as shots on target tonight for 901 FC. Ryan Duncan maybe cramp it up just a little bit. Again, 56% possession for Memphis. They've won 54% of the duels tonight, and they have been active on the ground game. 415 passes, and they've been as accurate as you can be, 85.5% this evening.
Yeah, it's pretty outstanding. And look who's coming in. It's the captain for life, Leston Paul, the Trinidad and Tobago International. Getting a few minutes. He's kind of a hybrid. He's a player and he is an assistant coach for Memphis 901 FC. And I know he's getting out there for a few minutes to maybe pick up a foul or two or give a foul or two. But someday I think he'll be on a sideline somewhere running a club. This is a brilliant man who's had a brilliant career and been great for Memphis. Good to see him out there tonight.
Well, it's such a plus for Stephen Glass to have him, a luxury, because look, he's going to end up being a coach and doesn't get the minutes he used to get, moving on up in age a little bit, but he'll grab a spot start. Team struggles, throw him out there. He can get things organized and constructed on the field for Memphis when you need that veteran leadership.
And he's very soft-spoken too, because he's one of the guys that was on the field for Trinidad and Tobago when they caused the U.S. national team to not make the World Cup in 2018. He doesn't speak about it much. Maybe it's for the best since he's in the States. When in Rome, I guess.
Just wear a T-shirt that said it was me. So, about 90 seconds left in regulation, but we're going to have added time. And probably a decent chunk of it. FC Tulsa out to the right side. Along the left wing, you see DeLue calling for it, but no way they can spot him from sideline to sideline at this point. Memphis now starting to put 4 or 5 back. Marlon away from the ball, back over to the right wing. Armanakis sends it toward the middle. A little bit shallow here in the 90th minute. FC Tulsa's going to push up again. And that one just too high. It was on line, just elevated too much for any kind of deflection or a header for FC Tulsa. And we'll wait and see what is added. So if 901 FC finishes this off, they'll pull even at 38 points with Sacramento, but they'll be 2 goals behind in the goal differential, 6 minutes. So that's more than fair. I really thought it would be around 8 or 9 minutes. Of course, we had the ball go off of the head of Pitterand in the second half on a great save. Unfortunately for himself, saved it off the side of the head. That took a little time. Turchi went down on the elbow at one point, and then another second half goal.
Yeah, had Marlon down for just a moment or two. Yeah, so a couple of those, you get the goal celebration. 6 minutes. Clock's a ticking, and there's a nice release valve for Memphis as Tristan Henry's able to get it away, and we'll have a foul called there as Marlon goes down. Burn a little extra time. I don't think Memphis is going to go for a quick kick here, and this will give Stephen Glass a chance to make one more substitution before calling it a night.
John Baccaro is going to make his way in. Don't forget, can't watch the match. Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 8 Eastern, plus hear live matches from the USL MLS Premier League and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Baccaro, one of the newcomers, as Lapa will come off the field here with about 5.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, got to last see him. If you've watched quite a bit of the league, you'll know that he has spent some time with Phoenix Rising.
Well, next week, starting the 24th and the 28th, two really big matches, Tim. They're going to head out and play Oakland on Saturday night and then at Colorado Springs. So you're going to get into some matches with Oakland right behind you, Colorado Springs 2 spots behind you. You got a chance to get some separation, and I wouldn't say cement, but you'd be pretty firm there in the top 3 then with about 6 matches left in the season.
Yeah, I think that would be good for Memphis 901 FC to be able to have a successful road trip like that. I think at that point you're looking forward, and you've got really some opportunities there to cement that home field advantage, at least in the first round or two of the playoffs. And again, another feather in the cap for Stephen Glass.
Just a couple of results. I'm talking about you just get 2 points. Now, bonus, you come away with 4 points on that road trip. You got 4 of your last 7 at home.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a nice run, a sprint to the finish for Memphis, and nothing like sleeping in your own bed. Nothing like that.
Well, if Memphis can be the team, and we've talked about none of the teams really in the West, and here is Marlon. Marlon launches, and that kind of veers off to the right. If Memphis were the team to get hot in the West, because no team really has, I would say, gotten hot, kind of taking the bull by the horns. But if they're that team and can get up into the standings, and New Mexico can kind of play themselves back just a little bit, final match of the season at New Mexico, that could be a lot on the line out in New Mexico.
Yeah, there's already going to be quite a few eyes, but even more so if that scenario comes together. But again, a lot of work to be done between now and then for Memphis 901 FC. And Tulsa, even if this result holds, they're certainly not done. They're still within a shout. They have a good week or two, and they put themselves into the mix.
Borzak trying to get between the double team. He leaves it, and that one, another great save. Turning, and that one is blocked outside off the foot of Baccaro. Baccaro turned, never made it to Pittaranda, who made the first initial save.
Have we been treated to a show by him tonight?
Yeah.
I know he's on the losing side of things at the moment, but, and Tristan Henry's been solid, so no disrespect there. But he's just been absolutely amazing from point-blank range tonight, and he is as advertised. Tulsa's, they really have themselves a special talent in Johan Pittaranda.
You're talking about FC Tulsa. They can keep their head above water. And, again, they're not far out. They're sitting just one spot out of the playoff line. They'll have 4 of their last 5 in Tulsa. So if they can just stay there within striking distance, they're going to have really nice opportunity. Meanwhile, to the left side is Yosef. And couldn't get through. So Oakland draws tonight
with Rhode Island.
Yeah, so that leaves them at 36 points. So Memphis hangs on. They're tied for second. Now they would have the 3 seed on the goal differential, but you're right there. It's only 2 goal differential.
And they've been, listen, first whistle here to break up on the corner kick. They've all been so well behaved tonight. And now here we are in the 96th minute with a little bit of a talking to by the official. But I tell you, Tulsa would be well served to try to put something in here for goal differential's sake.
Backside, punched high by Henry.
I think he shanked that one just a little bit. He was lucky that one went out for another corner.
Talk about kind of taking the bull by the horns of Memphis here. finishes this off, that means over the last 5, including tonight, that's going to be 3 wins and a draw, so 4 results over the last 5.
Sure.
So you can tell they're starting to maybe take the initiative.
Sure, and word's out. Memphis is a tough ask going into Memphis and trying to take them on. So Tulsa still a little bit of time to maybe get something on the score sheet here. Won't help them necessarily immediately in the standings, but you want to shut that goal differential down as much as you can. This will probably be pretty close to the final action of the night.
I can imagine them getting this corner kick and any possession out of this and then blow this match dead. It's loose and cleared. And that will do it. They gave them the corner, a chance for possession. Memphis gets the clearance. And Memphis with a goal in each frame will take a 2-0 victory tonight in 901 FC. Now in the top 2 in the Western Conference in the USL Championship.
And as you've said time and again, Jeff, when you're up in the standings, you got to beat the teams down below. You got to take care of business. Stephen Glass's club did that tonight, but not without a fight from a very game FC Tulsa. Terrific match tonight we were treated to here in Memphis.
Final score, Memphis 901 FC, a 2-0 win over FC Tulsa. We'll tell you more about it when we come back here in Memphis. Memphis 901 FC over Tulsa FC tonight here in Memphis as they move up to second in the standings. Now, Tulsa, not the end of the world, but they are not going to be able to move up above the playoff line tonight. They're still going to stay just outside of 8th place, and they've got a chance again if they can just keep their head above water for 3 of their last 4 matches. Actually, 4 of the last 5, I believe, in Tulsa. Man of the match tonight is Sam Carriega, the guy we featured before the game. He's been the 3rd option for Memphis, the 3rd big scorer. Came through big in the second half.
Yeah, sure did. And what a great night. He was great distributing, and then he distributed one into the back of the net. It was beautiful on the follow-up from Luis Fernando. Tough luck for Luis tonight. He had 2 great opportunities. The keeper bested him on both occasions, but he does get the assist on that rebound. So Carriaga having a great night tonight to get another one onto the score sheet for him. And gave Memphis a little bit of breathing room against a really tough test against Tulsa.
Well, here are the numbers, and if you look at the numbers, they deserve to win. 56% possession, 428 passes, and they were about 86% on those passes. And Memphis 901 FC, which is a team that is 3rd in the league in fouls, only 3 fouls tonight. We talked about the team that stayed disciplined, had a huge advantage.
Yeah, they were on their best behavior tonight. And really, if you look at the cumulative number of fouls, 16 all in all, listen, this game was well played. I thought the technique was good. This game did not descend into anything dirty. I thought it was pretty well officiated tonight. And all in all, just fans were treated to a good night of soccer. And we saw an FC Tulsa team that in my opinion, they can get themselves into the playoffs. And, if they can figure out how to get those goals without Philip Goodrum, I think they're going to be okay.
Well, here you go. So Memphis moves into 38 points. They will have -2 as you see the goal differential there as Sacramento's plus 12, Memphis is plus 10. But they still have matches. They play the same amount of matches. Now they're only a match behind, though, as far as New Mexico only has a match in hand. So now you're thinking if you get hot, it's still going to be a lot of work to do, but you still have one match left. Meanwhile, FC Tulsa, Tim, tied at 27. They're out on goal differential, but they are only a result away from getting into the top 7.
Listen, that's a toss-up at the bottom. You know, even Phoenix, you know, who has had a down year by anybody's standards, they could be in with a shout by the time all is said and done. And this Western Conference that Memphis has now been introduced into, I mean, it truly is, as we talked in the pregame, a free-for-all at this point.
Got to be a fun one as we continue here. The sprint begins toward the end of the USL Championship season. That'll wrap things up here from Memphis. For everyone involved behind the scenes, my broadcast partner Tim Van Horn, I'm Jeff Brywell. Thanks so much for joining us, and good evening from the Bluff City.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.